Greetings. So then you say, Wilkins, if a sentence has words that are not all equal in stress, which is true, and if a word has syllables that are not all equal in depth and in weight, which is true, then how do I get myself to translate that into my hands when we're talking about a musical phrase? I don't know if you ever watched Seinfeld, but I think I've watched all of them at least a dozen times. And I remember the episode, you probably do too, when Kramer gets this bit part in a movie. And he's got one line, and the line is, "These pretzels are making me thirsty." And you remember during the course of the episode that everybody else has their way of saying it because they think he's saying it wrong. These pretzels are making me thirsty, or these pretzels are making me thirsty, or these pretzels are making me thirsty. Well, the reality is, for as many ways as you can say, how do I say that? 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 That is sort of what a musical phrase, that's the way a musical phrase has to be approached as well. Which of these notes, which of these bars deserve stress and which do not? So the question becomes then, how do I communicate that if my job is to beat time and tempo and volume with my right hand? And so I came up with a couple exercises, and I'm just going to suggest a couple of them to you. And one of them is really simple. It's basically beating a 4/4 pattern, but beating it over, let's say, 4 measures. And so the first measure is really small, the second measure is a little bigger, the third measure is a little bigger, and the fourth measure is even bigger than that. And then do the reverse all the way back down to that tiny measure, to that tiny conducting measure. The other thing that you could do is actually inside of a measure of 4/4, I just choose 4/4 just for the sake of simplicity, make the beats different sizes. So you have 1, 2, 3, and tiny 4. And you can come up with all kinds of combinations of that. But I got to tell you, you really sort of have to make yourself do it. Because I don't know about you, but I will often see a videotape of my golf swing and I realize that doesn't look anything like a golf swing, and that is certainly not what I thought I was going to do. And so what we want to do is develop this whole notion of creating a repeatable motion in our hands. And back to the very first thing that we talked about, and that is making sure that this thing can do this stuff as easily and as naturally as possible, so that it's instinctive that when you don't want stress on a beat, you don't put stress on a beat. One last thing that you might want to consider also, and that is sometimes start a measure on different beats, which means that, excuse me, I'm saying this incorrectly. Well, yes, start them on different beats, but also take out the beats that you don't want to make essential. So for example, you could go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, or make the beats keep moving, but make the beats even smaller. So you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, etc., etc., etc. You can have all kinds of fun with that. Lastly, I said one more thing, but this really is the coolest thing. We don't want to miss this. And that is, take a song that's in 1 meter. I usually use America, like My Country 'Tis of Thee. And I'll conduct it in 3. But then do it, sorry about my singing, but then do it in 4/4 time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3 and 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And again, as many ways as you can come up with for interpreting that tune, which beats are strong, that will tell you where the stress goes, and more importantly, where the stress does not go. Think about it.